Hi, kindergartners. Remember when we read this book the other day? Let's read the title again right now. The Little Engine That Could. Yeah, remember what a happy ending that story had? I loved it. I hope you did too. If we did a quick retelling, we would say something like, there was an engine stuck that couldn't get up over the mountain. He had a load of toys and goodies for boys and girls on the other side of the mountain. As much as he tried, he could not make it over. So he asked a few other engines if they could help push him over. None of them could. But then along came a little tiny engine. And he asked the little tiny engine if they could pull the train cars over the mountain. He had a good attitude. He said, I think I can, I think I can. Remember that? And he did. That's how the story ended. Some of our sight words were in the story, weren't they? Look at what's here. Here is our one sight word, I. Now think is a new word to us, isn't it? But look at, there's I again, and there's can. Let's read this together. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And remember the ending? I thought I could. We've got an exclamation point down there because he's excited that he did it. Here's the periods that ended those sentences. Well, as I was thinking about that story, I was thinking again how we could learn a good lesson from that story. Maybe it's something we should think about all year long. What if we did this, boys and girls? What if we made ourselves a reminder of this story and a reminder of the idea that if we keep a good attitude and keep trying, we're going to get a lot more accomplished? What if you made this reminder at home, and then when I saw you, you gave me the reminder, and I hung it up in our school? And then one day when we get back into our school, you and I can say the words, I thought I could. Right now, I'm thinking about wishing I was back in school with you. So I'm kind of doing, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can do the lessons on the videos. And I just keep telling myself that. And then one day when we're back together in this room, we can look at your beautiful trains on the wall that we're going to make, and we can tell each other, I thought I could. Yeah, let's do that. Well, in order to make this project, you're going to need 3 things from your green folder. You're going to need, it looks like an engine, doesn't it? This one. You're going to need some of these 4 wheels. And you're going to need 1 of these long, tall rectangles. There will be some extra pieces. Yeah, when I made them into the packet, it was easiest just to copy the whole thing to get it to you quickly. So there'll be some extras. But you can use the extras in another craft. You can throw away the extras, or you can use them for tracing practice. All right, let's start out with our first steps. You're going to use some crayons, and since the story's got a blue engine, I think I'm going to do mine just a little bit different, and I'm going to add some red. Your first job, pulling this down a little bit, is to take your crayon and trace along the dotted lines. That will give us good practice for tracing. See how I'm going around the large rectangle? Oh, now I'm on the triangle. Up the triangle, up the side of this large rectangle, back, and then I'm going to go. It's hard to tell if this is a rectangle or a square. I think it's more of a rectangle, but it's close. See how I did that tracing? All right, now you can make your train your own in a lot of different ways. You might decide to color in the shapes and do kind of like a solid look. See how I'm making a little darker line there? So it looks like, I think those are called cow catchers on the front of the train, and I'm going to color that in. You might decide that you want to decorate your train with like toys coming out of it. Remember how the cars had lots of toys, but you might want to put some of them on here to decorate. I saw some really great dinosaurs the other day that if you drew some of those on there, I would like seeing those. Was that Benjamin's dinosaur? We saw a few great dinosaurs. You could color it solid. I think I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to work on coloring this solid. Yeah, I'm just going to color it in. I'm not going to make a picture out of it, but you know what? Maybe I'll make a design. I'll go like this, orange, and then I'll go back to red. I'll make a red stripe here. Trying not to push down too hard on my crayons because when I do that, I usually break them and then I'm bummed out. All right, let's do let's do some green and some blue. Here's our green. I'm doing a green stripe. Okay, and now I'm going to do a blue stripe. There we go. Now, if I was to finish this whole project right now, it would probably look nice, but we would be doing this videotape for way too long. I want you to have time to work on your project. So I'm going to stop here. I could keep going and repeat the pattern. I could make one go a different way. I could make it really nice, and I think that's what you're going to do. But I'm going to stop there for a moment, and I'm going to show you the next step. All right, my next step is to take my large piece of paper, and I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to cut along the dotted line. Remember the little poem we learned? We said open, close, open, close. Right, that's not how we said it, is it? But that's what we're doing. We said open, shut, open, shut. This is how I cut, cut, cut. Yeah, now it rhymes better. When I said close and shut, it didn't rhyme. But when I said shut and cut, those did make a rhyme. I'm going around the outside. I'm going to have a scrap. I bet you're going to put your scrap in the garbage so that your work area doesn't get messy. All right, see what I did? I didn't have to cut those all apart this time. I could leave these shapes together. All right, now I'm going to get out my glue stick. Remember we talked about twisting, pulling off the cap. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit, not too much. And then I'm going to start putting glue on the back of my train. Now there's two things to remember. You don't want to put the glue on the front right now. That'll cover up your design. Secondly, you don't want to just do a blob in the middle. You should go around the outside edges. Let me show you what I mean by that. See how I'm going around the outside? And this keeps the edges from peeling up. And go around the outside. And it's okay to put a little bit in the middle for good measure. Yeah, see what I did there? All right, now I'm going to take a sheet of paper. I hope you have a sheet of paper at home. If not, you don't have to glue it onto a piece of paper, but it'll be easier for you. I'm going to smooth it down, just like that. See what I did there? Yeah, now, because I went around the edges, it's glued down nicely. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close up my glue stick for right now. I'm going to put the cap on and set it aside. Now, it's time for the next step. The next step is I need to add one of these long rectangles. I'm going to use my black crayon this time. I'm going to trace along the outside, down the edges. I'm going to show you one of my coloring hints. All right, I'm going to show you my secret already. Sometimes my hand's getting tired, and I know I'm going to cut something out. I can go out of the lines just a little bit. You want to know why? I already know in my brain that I'm going to cut that extra off. And this way, I can get the color to go all the way to the edges. And I leave out the white spots. So I'm going to go all the way down. Okay, can't always do that because sometimes you're not cutting the extra off. But today I know that we are. Okay, now take my scissors, open and shut again. And I'm going to cut out this long, thin rectangle. See how I turned my paper? I knew if I didn't, my wrist would be very uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm cutting off all that extra there, and look. Now it looks like I colored in the lines, even though I didn't quite color in the lines. Okay, here's your next step. you're going to take this long rectangle, scrap or something you can use for another craft. Get my glue stick back out. All right, and I'm going to use it to go straight down the middle this time. Yeah. Sometimes when my glue stick starts to get messy, I turn it so that I can use the paper to kind of clean up the edges a little bit. That way when I put the cap on, it doesn't get stuck on as easily. Okay, I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to put it just below. Yeah, well, I'm going to move it up. What do you think? Right about there? I know it's going to hang off a little bit, but that's okay. Let's put it right about there. All right. Then I'm going to choose 2 of these circles. Now, maybe you want to color them solid. Maybe you want to make them look kind of decorative and put like stripes across them. I know I'm going out of the lines a little bit again, but it's okay because I already know I'm going to trim it up. Okay, I'm going to do it like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. You don't have to decorate it the same way I did. Remember, when we do things differently, it makes it creative and fun to look at. Sometimes I like when I do a project one way, and then when I see another boy or girl do it, I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. I like that way. All right, now I'm going to go around the outside. I'm going to put a border on here. I'm going to kind of trace, and then I'm going to make another circle a little bit further in, and then I'm going to color that in. You can do it like that. You can do it differently. I almost think these look like wagon wheels. I know, I'm kind of trying to give it an old-fashioned look. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on this. Now I'm only going to color 2 of my circles. That's because that's all I need. That's all that's going to show. Now you can practice. If you don't like the way you design one of them, you could try another one since we have extra today. You could use the other circles to make something different. Yeah, you could just either recycle them or throw them away too. You don't have to do something with them, but sometimes it's kind of fun to see what you can come up with. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to finish up this part. Here we go. I'm going to put my crayon back down, and now I'm going to cut up my circles. All right, now, here I go again, turning the paper. That gets really important when we're cutting along a curve. Yep, it makes it extra important. Let's do that again. Put the second circle. Hey, we worked on the number 2 a lot this week, didn't we? Yeah? Next week, we're going to move on to number 3. You're right. Okay. Put my scrap over there. Now, I'm going to glue these on like this. Now, I've had boys and girls who like to have this on the outside, so it looks kind of like you can see where it's attached. Like this. You can peel that up and go down like that. You could go either way. I kind of like the wheels on top. I'm not sure why, but that just looks right to me. So that's what I'm going to do. You decide what works for you. Go around the outside edge. Now I did do quite a bit in the middle on these because I don't want it coming off. All right. I'm going to kind of clean up the edges of my glue stick because I know after this I'm going to be done with my glue stick for a while. All right. Close that up. All right. And now I'm going to put in my wheels. There, we got them. Doesn't our train look almost ready to go? Now you have some choices, boys and girls. Some of you, if you're really crafty and you have a mom and dad that have a printer, you might decide to take a picture of yourself, cut out the picture of yourself, and put your face right in there. Wouldn't that be fun to see? You don't have to do that. You might not have a printer. It might not work out for you, but if it does, why not? If you have an old extra picture laying around, it might be a good time to use it. You might decide to draw a picture of yourself in there. You might put yourself, and then you might make a speech balloon. I'm going to pretend like I have a person in there, and I'm going to write the words, I think I can. Capital I. Now a new word, think. Oh, another capital I. And now can. K, A, N. And then I'm going to put an exclamation point. Yeah. Now, can you imagine if I finished this, how pleasant it would be to look at? Now, think about 22 of these on our wall when we walk in for the first time. I would really like to see that. All right, boys and girls, you can get creative with this. If you think of something I didn't tell you to do exactly, give it a try. Maybe some of you have sequins at home or shiny things you want to glue on there. That's fine. You might have other things to decorate it. Make it great. Don't try to make it so heavy, though, that Mrs. Finkel can't get it to hang on the wall, because I really would love to hang these up. All right, boys and girls, I know it seems like a big project right now, but I know when you're done, you're going to say, I thought I could, because I know you can do this. All right, boys and girls, have fun with that. And I'm going to have fun trying to find the stop button. All right.